into play with the red 3. Just to remind you of the rules, you have to get the low ball on the table, work through the rest unless there's a plant or a cannon that takes you to the 9 quick. Nicely developed, and look what he's left. Will you try this, SD?
Yes, this is going to be a very quick rack should the 9 go in. It's a great opening start, and you would imagine that Efren Reyes, even though he hasn't got his cue action going yet, should really make this 9 ball.
All right! Rock and roll!
So let's move on to the 4th rack. It's 2-1 Reyes, Bustamante to break.
Monster break. 2 ball looks to be in as well, which would have helped for him if the 2 ball had stayed out, but the white ball got kicked down the table. The red 3, which is now the lowest ball on the table. As you can see, the 1 into the middle pocket. The 2 getting kicked off 2 balls into the bottom left. And so the lowest ball now on the table, the red 3.
Plant on.
Too risky. But a clever safety. Has he got it perfect? Yes.
Has he ever? I think you can just about see the paint, the dab of paint on this red ball.
What will the magician do? Will he try to stay behind that 9 ball and send the 3 up the table? Well, he may have tried that, but he didn't want to do that.
Rack over. Francisco will jump in here like a rat up a drain pipe, but cool and elegant. Should be his rack now. There's no problem ball. Draws gently to the middle of the table.
Didn't want to be hampered by the 7, but no problem. Spinning the cue ball round off 2 cushions into the open table for the 5.
Heart of the pocket. Don't always have to hit the middle of the pocket. You can use the knuckles to good effect to alter your angle. Coming in again, this draw shot.
No problems here for Bustamante. Has the choice of a soft drawback or possibly playing with a bit more power to screw off the side cushion with a bit of spin.
Left hand side. And it's elementary. This is for 2-piece.
Rack 5, Bustamante to break, 2 racks each.
Well, the
Well.
wing ball comes down, and look at the action there of Bustamante.
Is this plant worth a dip?
Well, this 1 ball's come off the knuckle, and he hasn't got a pot on the 1 ball, so, well, you can make your own minds up what he's going to do here. Does he play the safety, or does he risk the 9? What do you think?
Well, I think there's no change of angle between the yellow 1 and the 9, so can you tell by how much spin he's putting on it? He's coming in very low left.
Never a certainty, but a shot that really Francisco Bustamante felt he had to play. And he can consider himself...
Is there a chop cut
Fortunate.
possible on this bottom left?
Well, he could have made it a lot easier for Reyes, and Reyes looks like he's ducking and playing safe behind his 3 balls in a line.
There you go.
Wow, that was close to the cushion, to the pocket. Just hit the cushion just before the knuckle. And if you look at these pockets, you'll see there are a definite point on the pocket as opposed to a snooker table, which is rounded. So as long as you hit outside the point, the ball won't go in. It very rarely goes in at any type of open pocket angle. But if you hit inside the point, it's gulped up by the pocket. That's why shots down the rail are a lot easier than they would be on a snooker table. But sometimes shots in open table play are a little bit more difficult than you would imagine.
So what's the plan for getting to this yellow and secondly not leaving it on?
Okay, one cushion escape off the top cushion is a possibility if he can make sure he doesn't hit that knuckle. Hit the one on the right side of the ball, and then perhaps the cue ball could go over there to the side of the table. But remember, the ball must hit a cushion after contacting the one. That was an excellent shot, but it was not as obvious a way of playing safe from that shot. And obviously Bustamante was trying to play a similar shot and get that one ball in behind the 5. Perhaps he couldn't get past that 5 down the short rail, as we mentioned.
Well, the magician, his apprentice could, Sorcerer's apprentice could do this easily. No problem ball at all, yeah. It's raised to 11, replacing the last 4. Coming in with bottom spin. And again, all you snooker players watching, you don't want perfect position in this. You want an angle. You want an angle to think 3 or 4 shots ahead. Because once you get straight on shots, you've got to do awful things with top or bottom. Not a problem in any of these, Steve.
No. He's got to make sure he doesn't leave the cue ball behind the 6. It was never really a problem at all.
See, according to Isaac Newton, Pippin on the bounce, middle of the table, optimum angles in all directions. Middle of the table again. If you've got the control of the spin and the weight of the shot, you just well, dominate the midfield. Be Roy Keane at the game. Hold the ball in the middle of the table. It's easy. Looks easy.
And if you think about it, Sid, there are very few balls that are pottable. Very few positions on a table where a ball is not pottable if your cue ball is right in the middle of the table.
Applying to science. Not kidding. It's not smacking spheroids with a stick. No way this. Reyes, 4-3-2. Gonna smack the cheese, bottom right. Cheese goes down!
Beautiful position on the 1. More awkward on the 3. And as you can see, that blue 2 has gone down.
Yeah, Tiger Woods might be the dominant man in some games. These two Tigers from the Philippines, where they're both national heroes, veritable jungle cats at this game. They could take the skin off a living opponent without blinking. But away from the table, they're nice lads. Francisco ponders his fate. Because when this bloke's at the table, you get slim pickings. You might just get a few dusty, dried up crumbs. Race to 11. Effort's intent on the task. Could have took the shirt in better, Steve.
Just checking that his sleeve doesn't touch the 6 ball. And a good tip for anybody playing anywhere around the world. Play the game properly. Don't get sloppy in practice and play just cue ball fouls, as they're called. You play all the fouls. So if your body touches a ball as well, that gives you good habits around the table and stops you being lazy.
It is an extremely balletic game. When they do address the ball like this, feet splayed, it is almost like a runner getting down on his blocks. It's a very precise position. Precise position is Reyes. Takes the 4-2 lead over his pal. Why is he hesitating at this point?
Well, he's hooked. He's hooked on the 1. Efren Reyes certainly doesn't use a jump cue, so he's got a problem. The push out, or to kick out.
Didn't seem to have nominated to kick out.
No, because, and the reason why, the push out is a disadvantage, and if you do push out, usually you get the worst of it, because your opponent can choose the situation, whether he wants to play the shot or to put you back in. So, as often happens amongst these top players, if they see they have the possibility of a kick at themselves, even if they are hooked or snookered from that break-off, they will try and keep the initiative.
Right, given the fact that the 9 blocks the way to the pocket, is there any advantage in thinking about the plant?
Yes, he can play a full ball cannon, send the cue ball back down the table. This is a great chance, with a bit of safety as well.
Django whacks down the plant.
Hi there, welcome back. The quarterfinals underway. Francisco Bustamante taking on Efren Reyes. We can join it with a 9th rack in progress. The score is 4 racks all.
There's the short jump cue. Here's Francis stabbing down.
He looks to be cueing on the left of this, but he does cue across. Well, that was
Ball shot.
One for the lads in the slips.
a true jump shot. Just making sure that the ball didn't get any damage from the metal floor here. Jumped over 2 balls and jumped over the chalk, jumped over Efren's foot, jumped over everything, and Efren won't be jumping over this 1 to get to the 9. He'll be using the 1 straight onto the 9. The easiest peasiest of wins in this rack.
Filipino equivalent of yardy, yardy, yardy. Clever clogs. Have a bit of that. Is there a shot here?
Yeah, the jump shot. No, you can clip the 1 here and try and miss the green 6, bringing the cue ball down into a safe area. Bit thicker than he would have liked. Perhaps not. Sorry about that, Efren.
Well, slap your knees,
Yeah,
Steve
sorry,
Davis.
sorry.
Question in the maestro.
Apologies. I'll blame the fact I couldn't see the whole table from that angle. Marvellous shot there from Efren Reyes, flirting a little bit with that corner pocket. Once again, asking the question to Bustamante, get your jump cue out. We have a lot of interest in this match around the world. Oh my God, he's gone 2 and 1. What a shot that was.
Oh, well, shot of the tournament. Definitely one of the top 3 we've seen. Just look at this.
I'm going out and buying one of them. Where'd you get them? I want one of those. I want a Bustamante jump cue tomorrow.
Fantastic shot by the maestro. Oh, yes, heart of the pocket.
One of the shots of the tournament. And you can imagine if that was in the
Absolutely.
last rack, that would have been one of the mega shots ever played in the game.
Didn't that bloke Sam Davis do a very good shot length of the table, hit the black pot the 9 the other night, that Davis bloke?
Sammy Davis Jr., Sam Davis. Well, yeah, but that was a skillful shot and played for Bustamante, and immediately puts. Oh, gets stuck into that, mate. Yes. Oh, dropped a
Wowee.
bit. Shh, don't eat loudly. You know what happened earlier in the he's going for another bit.
Yes, a bit of side on that, a bit of right-hand side.
Now, why
He's got it!
Why go for that bit when he could have gone for the outside bit? If I could just illustrate that. He could have gone with the outside bit and got less chocolate on the side of his mouth. Reyes going, swerving off 2 cushions, perhaps even 1, to try and contain this situation. He could be in trouble here, though. I think he's going to be, other than the fact that it's going to be very, very awkward queuing for Francisco Bustamante. Bustamante's going to get the step ladders out here to get enough backspin on this. Oh, he can just get by it without having to jack his cue up in the air. He's going to be rammed up behind this 7 ball and the 8.
Race to 11, I'll remind you. And this could be very, very tight in the later stages.
2 choices for Reyes. The 2 cushion escape round the back of the 9 or the 1 cushion escape.
Step in, Busty.
Yes, but not as easy to step in as you would initially think. That 5 ball has made this 2 missable. And also the positional side of the shot is very difficult as well.
Yeah, he could sling the white, having hit so thin. Well, no trouble then. Sweet on the red.
He made that look very easy. He's not ideally placed on the 3. Cue ball will be going away from the orange 5, and if at any time you're confused as to the order of the balls, just check along the bottom of the screen. Most of the time we show which balls are left remaining on the table and which balls and the order of which they have to be potted in. This is a straightforward sequence we've seen many times before.
And always remember, you are allowed to billiard or to plant from the low ball to a different ball. Say the 6 is on the pocket and you're on the 1, you're going to roll up and knock it in. And if the 9's looking adjacent, you can whack the low ball into the 9.
Bit of a dodgy shot there by Bustamante, getting a bit of unwanted spin on the ball. It's made the cue ball stay closer to the cushion than he wanted, but a great recovery.
And a great bit of English to make this angle perfect for a little old dink out from the cush. Stop shot needed here, 5 apiece.
And unlike a couple of the matches yesterday that tended to drag on for ages, this match is motoring through. 5-5. Bustamante pulls it back.
So a tense, nervous match. We're moving on to the 15th rack now. The score 7-7.
Reyes frustrated with the break. Not as much leg kick there. And that 1, once again, if the 1 isn't going in the pocket for Reyes, it is making its way to that head cushion, as it's known in head string cushion, as it's known in 9-ball pool. The bottom of the table for snooker players, the top of the table apparently for pool players. The long bank from Reyes, and an important bank from Reyes. He knew he had to play that aggressively. Never touched the sides. Well, nearly never. What a great shot. Sometimes a shot like that can turn the match. Reyes has done that on many occasions. I remember a marvellous bank he played against Jimmy White to knock Jimmy White out in a match 9-8 a couple of years back in this very tournament when Reyes was in all sorts of trouble. He produced a bank and looking like 8-7 to Reyes. What a fascinating match this is. You know, it's over so quickly. I mean, they're playing at roughly twice the speed of racks as the table upstairs, which is obviously a much more considered match. You never can tell how the balls go. If they go in awkward positions, you get slower racks. But these two players have played in open table play more or less to perfection.
Well, that's a great tribute. I think the whole thing is that, again, going on with genius and madness and the mad shots. The shots that they can conceive are probably in a broader spectrum or band of knowledge or imagination than anybody else's. The Filipinos take a kick as for granted. They take bank shots for granted. They take jump shots, as we've seen, part of reference. There is a lot of imagination in every circumstance, hence a quick game.
Oh, what an unlucky break. How did that cue ball get up in that pocket? Just have a look. Every rack of 9 ball is a different split. How did the cue ball make its way into that pocket? How unlucky is that? And that probably equals the bad luck that Francisco had in rack 2 when he was so unfortunate in scratching. But at this critical stage of the match, obviously the mistakes and the bad luck become magnified.
Here we go then. Don't see any problems other than that the brown's a bit adjacent to the pink, so there's limited angles and attack there.
Yes, I wondered there whether Francisco Bustamante could have knocked that brown into the pink away from the pocket, but obviously it must pot quite easily past the brown 7 into open play once again. The only problem where the 4 is that he has less options to get back on the 5.
Can he develop the situation with the cue ball here?
Well, he can definitely make the 4, but it's what he can. I think he's obviously going to be cannoning into the 7. He may play a draw shot, try and bump the 7 out of the way and put some right-hand spin on the cue ball. The only thing that would ruin that would be some sort of line-up of the 7 and the 5. He got round the back of it. No need to get any closer to the 5 than that. Confident play by Bustamante at a time when confidence is needed. It's around this time in the match that the nerves start to increase. Just didn't like the bridging position of his hand there. He's awkwardly placed on the cushion. Very strong bridge though, strong fingers.
Well, Earl reckons, talking about that bridge, Earl Strickland told me that the Brits, when he saw them first time about 5 years ago to Mascudi, you have to learn the loop bridge to get maximum effect, he said. Do you agree? Must you use the loop bridge 90% of the time?
Well, the loop bridge is strange, you know. From a potting perspective, you want to sight down the cue. So if you use the open bridge, as Francisco Bustamante has used there, you can sight the shot easier. So obviously from a potting perspective, as snooker players are only potting machines, so to speak, that the open bridge is important. But for feel and touch and control of a large ball, the loop bridge is also a very important weapon. A variety of bridges used by Francisco in bridging the gap to come back to 8-all. Bustamante retains control of the table. Once again, that back heel completely coming up to the floor. And actually, Bustamante could very well get a sponsored logo on his sole of that foot. It's in show quite a lot. Frank Bruno's the other person I know that can have one of those.
That's right. Maybe a soul food store. Buster here then. Looking good for 9-8 in a race to 11. Heart of the pockets.
Somewhere down the line there's going to be a critical point in this match where the balls don't go in open play and a big decision has got to be made and a big rack is won. It hasn't happened yet. It would be unlikely if the whole match was played without that most critical moment. But at the moment, in open play, Bustamante is very much on course. He retains the break-off. What a marvellous break. Look at the control on that cue ball. Hit dead centre on the one, top spin, whipping the ball back to the middle of the table. You can't ask for a better break than that. He's got to be careful he doesn't lose the one over the pocket and send it along the top rail. Oh, that was magnificent as well. Knew exactly what was going to happen. Every reason to believe that Bustamante goes 2 racks in front with 3 to play. It's been a marvellous match, but possibly not the match that Reyes would be hoping for. I think Reyes would excel in a match where clever shots were needed. In open play, perhaps Bustamante the better player. We just, you know, we're talking about fractions.
Well, we've been talking about him ever since he hit the American Tour about 12 years ago as a future world champion. Bustamante, he was 1998 Player of the Year. 1998 he was #1 on the Camel Tour in the World Championship here. He got to the semi-final when Efren won it.
Ooh. Just sneaked in. Perhaps a little bit of nerves and tensions coming into that shot, but he did play the ball at the right speed, gave it every chance of dying into the pocket. And all of a sudden, Bustamante once again in perfect position. And also, thinking back along the match, that jump shot, the third jump shot that Bustamante played, how important has that been in the match? He was in all sorts of trouble there until he cut that ball in.
Here we go, and 2 cushions to make this. He could do this standing up in the dark in a hammock.
Great break, got a bit of action on the one he didn't want, on the cue ball he didn't want.
Oh, but look how the one has landed. Game over, you'd reckon.
Very much. Monstrous break again from Bustamante. Didn't like what happened to the cue ball. It got a massive kick off the green 6. Bustamante's so close and looks very cool and very collected, and you wouldn't bet against him missing any of these last 3 balls.
Trickles the green in. Sweet as you would like. Sweet as you'd like on this black. Just got to work it into the cush. Game over. Francisco Bustamante sinks the hopes of the former champ Efren Reyes.